Welcome to LSC. It's Sports Time. I'm your host, Bob Hintz. Today I have a very special guest in Jerry Holmes. 12 years in NFL, but he started here in Hampton, and we'd love to have you. Love having you here today. Welcome, Jerry.
Thanks, Coach. Good to see you again.
Well, and he calls me Coach, and I appreciate that. You started playing ball in the rec league in the Hampton system. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about that and who you played for.
Well, I started out playing. I'm one of 10 kids. So I have 4 brothers, and so I actually started playing with them. They're a little older than me, but then once we started playing in organized football, we started playing for Aberdeen, which is the elementary school that I attended when growing up.
Right.
And I played for Coach Moore back behind Aberdeen School right there in Hampton, Virginia. And that's when I first kicked off and started playing football, organized football.
Right. Now, the Coach Moore is the dad of Gary Moore, who works with Allen Iverson.
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Okay. So now from then, you went into the junior high system, because back then we didn't have middle school. We had the junior high system. And what junior high did you go to?
I went to Thomas Eaton right here in Hampton and played football there for 3 years, actually. Actually, I played 2 years there because back then, if you wasn't weighing too much, you could play a little longer in Aberdeen.
Right.
So, and I'm being a skinny kid like I am, so I could play. I could play for Aberdeen at least until I'm like at 8th grade or so.
Right. Now, you played. You were basically a wide receiver. Or did you do any running back or what?
No, I played strictly wide receiver from the junior high up to I finished at Bethel High School. But being so skinny, I played offensive tackle when I played at Aberdeen. I played left tackle on the offensive side of the ball with some of my good friends there.
Okay. Now, you went over to Bethel High School, got a chance to play for the legendary Kozlowski. That has to be quite an experience.
Yes. It was a good experience. It's a part of my foundation that I talk about to kids when I get a chance to speak to kids and that sort of thing. And to get an opportunity to actually play for Cars and play for you on the basketball court kind of what helped and developed Jerry Holmes to be successful a little bit in the NFL. Okay.
Now, when you were playing for Cos, again, you're a wide receiver. You guys won a state championship.
Yes.
And who was your coach? I mean, who was your quarterback on that?
Mike Dunn. Mike Dunn played at University of Duke, a real excellent basketball player and football player also.
Right. All right, and who were some of the other players that were on your team? You remember who they were? Was Derwin Tucker on that team?
Yep, Derwin Tucker was on that team. Also did a super job. He played at University of Illinois.
Right.
Was outstanding. Greg Day was on my team also on that team that won the championship.
Now, Greg is over at Phoebus, been coaching over there at the Lion over at Phoebus for all their championships. So yes. He stayed at home and went into the sport. Now, when you graduated from high school, you were basically under the radar. You were not, didn't get all the ink that the quarterback and the receivers and the running backs get. Because you guys basically ran the triple option, if I remember.
Yes.
So didn't pass that ball that much.
No. So as a wide receiver at Bethel in the triple option, you just had to learn how to block. You had to block downfield. And,
Right. So, but you left there and you took a route and went down to Chowan.
Yes, and I remember sitting in Coach Kozlowski's office, and he's talking to Jim Garrison, who was the head coach at Chowan down there. He was saying, I got a player for you, and he was really saying some good things about me and that I'd come and work hard for him and that sort of thing. So I appreciate all the things that Coach Koz and yourself was saying about me that gave me an opportunity to go to Chowan to actually play. And at that time, Chowan was a junior college.
Right. Now, how did you develop the will to continue on? You had to come from your parents and from the rest of your environment. And you said you had 10 kids in your family, and your older brothers made sure you stayed in shape, I'm sure.
That's right. And you have parents, and the way I was brought up with doing the little things right. And my mom took us to church every Sunday until I discovered football on TV on Sunday at 1 o'clock, so I used to go to church with her every Sunday. But then the seed was planted then for us to go out and do well, and no matter what we decide to branch off and decide to do.
So tell me a little bit about your time down at Chowan. How was that? What kind of experience was that?
It was a great experience working down there with Coach Garrison and Coach Linwood Ferguson, one of the defensive coordinators that had a big part of Jerry Holmes Foundation. But to go down there and to compete at a junior college level was really good, because a lot of your friends that you played in high school went on to Division II school, 1A school, and were very successful. So,
right.
And for Coach Garrison and those guys to give me an opportunity there to be successful at Chowan.
Tell me, how did you get to West Virginia? Was you recruited to West Virginia out of Chowan, or did you apply? How did that happen?
Yes, just like any 1A school in America, they come back and they go down to junior colleges and try to recruit guys. That's one reason I went to a junior college, because I felt like I really wasn't ready to go up to a 1A school, a UVA or Virginia Tech and that sort of thing. And actually, they didn't show any interest in me, the interest that Chowan showed them. And so I decided to go there. And I figured maybe if I go down here and have a good 2 years, that maybe I get an opportunity to go and play at a 1A school, which was West Virginia.
And you did. Now, what position did you play down at Chowan? Were you still playing wide receiver then?
No, actually, they moved me to a defensive back. I played free safety, and I was a kick returner, punt returner down there at Chowan.
Well, that was completely different than what you had been used to then.
Yes, but being a kick returner and then playing a little wide receiver at Bethel, you still wanted to run the ball a little bit, so they let me kind of get back there and return kicks and stuff, which was fun to do there.
Okay, so when you went to West Virginia, who was the coach up at West Virginia when you were there?
Coach Signetti, Coach Frank Signetti.
Right.
And he's no longer coaching, I believe, but he was my coach up there at West Virginia.
What was that experience like? Because now you're going from junior college to a big program that played some pretty good opponents.
Yes, and just give a little bit more, praise to Coach Garrison and they kind of got me set on the right path. Far as after I left there, I was fortunate enough the Lord blessed me to be a JC All-American. So that kind of brought in a lot of scouts from Kansas, West Virginia, UVA, and those places that really didn't know I was around when I came out of high school.
Didn't know you existed.
Exactly.
You were under the radar.
Yes.
But you still managed to, with your work ethic and what you've learned from your parents, kept you on the right track. You just never gave up. I mean, you just knew that you could get to the next level, didn't you?
Yes, but again, I was fortunate to have good coaches in high school, and I know you're not going to take any credit for it, but you was one of the main reasons that allowed me to continue to play football, because you gave me opportunity. You knew my brother. He works for you as a manager, I believe, there.
We're talking about Robert.
Mm-hmm. And so when you knew a little bit about the family already, that mom and dad at least did a great job of trying to keep our kids out of trouble and that sort of thing. So it was good to come in and have an opportunity to play basketball for you.
Well, I enjoyed coaching. It was a lot of fun. I got a lot of fine memories about that. But now, after you graduated from West Virginia, still under the radar, you were not drafted, were you?
No.
But yet you got to the pro ball through, what was it, USFL then?
No, actually back through the NFL, I was a free agent. That's when you just kind of like a walk-on in college.
Right, okay.
Scouts came in there from the NFL to see me play at West Virginia, and they said they wouldn't draft me. But they gave me an opportunity to walk on, to sign as a free agent with the New York Jets.
Okay.
You hit the Jets and you see like 120 players there in camp, and they like, wow. But then, I told my friends in the neighborhood, I said, well, I'm going out here, and it's a joke now when I get a chance to speak to kids, I'm going up here and knock out Wesley Walker or Lamb Jones or Freeman McNeil, then I'll be back, because they probably won't keep me, because like I said, it was 120 kids, and they're in the Jets training camp, and I was undrafted, so I didn't think that I really had the opportunity to make the the team. But once you put that helmet on, you think, okay, these guys,
they had to put their helmets on too, didn't they?
Exactly. They're not as good as I am, or they're the same. Put the helmet on exactly the way I do. Then you get out there and you start competing, and like, okay, I can do this. And then all of a sudden, the things that you learn throughout the Aberdeen, the Bethel High School, the Thomas Eaton, the West Virginia start coming together, and it kind of helps you shine a little bit out on the field.
All right. So now, but you didn't stay with the Jets. You went with the how long did you stay with the Jets?
I stayed with the Jets for 4 seasons.
4 seasons, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And because I remember you played some with Herschel Walker, who was with the New Jersey Generals or
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yes, it was one of those things where I got an opportunity to play those 4 years with the Jets, and it's like being a free agent, and I started every year but my rookie year with the Jets, and not quote, I was doing it for the money, but still they still wanted to pay me like a free agent.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, one of the coaches that would coach me at, Coach Pendry coached me at West Virginia, he now became the head coach for the Pittsburgh Maulers. So he knew I could play a little bit, so that's where that deal came in. So I said, at least I get a chance to go play for Coach Pendry, who's now the head coach of the Pittsburgh Maulers, who had brought in Herschel Walkers and some other fine college football players. So that's why I really left the Jets to go up there and play with Coach Pendry.
All right. Now, they always said about you, you had skinny legs, but you never got hurt. I mean, you never got a knee, you never had the knees banged up or anything. If you did, we didn't know about it.
And that's just one of those things that you just going out and you're playing hard, leaving it out on the field. You're playing like that's your last play. And again, I learned that from having good coaches in Pop Warner in high school and in college growing up.
All right. What was it like playing? Now, you played basically cornerback.
Yes.
Did you guys play a lot of zone, a lot of man-to-man, or what was the schemes what did you like the best?
It was one of those situations where at West Virginia, I was a free safety, but they didn't want to keep the, quote, best players on the field, so they didn't usually take the free safety off, but they started letting me play a little bit of cornerback when we got inside the red zones and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so me being drafted by the Jets instantly moved me from, well, not drafted, I should say, as a free agent.
Right.
They instantly moved me to corner. And from that point on, I said, well, I pretty much just going to do what the coach tell me to do and try to use my athletic ability to try to play corner.
Right. Now, playing in the NFL, you're playing against the elite of the elite. You're playing against good athletes all the time. And what techniques did you learn? Was you able to bring some techniques from other sports into helping you when you were playing defensive back?
Oh, definitely. That's what I was referring to. What you are a great part of my foundation. You have to be in a 6'3". That's kind of tall for a cornerback. But if you can learn how to bend your knees like you do in basketball to be able to keep guys from dribbling the ball past you, you have to be able to bend your knees. And that's the same kind of technique to use when you're playing cornerback. And if I have time, I'll share this quick story that brings all this stuff. My very first play in the NFL, I was playing against Dwight Clark against San Francisco 49ers, and Joe Montana was quarterbacking.
Right.
Very first play, I ran out there, and one of the guys in front of me got hurt. I made the Jets as a cornerback, and the guy in front of me hurt his hamstring or something. He went limping off the field. And the coach said, Jerry, you got to get in, you got to get in. Very first play of the NFL. Here I am going to get Jerry Wright, Joe Montana quarterbacking, and Dwight Clark, the wide receiver, quote, one of the best players in the NFL. And I run out there in Shea Stadium, playing in front of probably about 75,000 people. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
This ain't Aberdeen, this ain't Bethel, but I try to keep the things in my head that I learned through the process. But I remember I said, I got to do what the coach tell me to do. And he ran a post corner on me that's when the defensive back tried to take away the post,
Right.
take away all the inside route. But the white clock ran a corner on me, and boom, they scored a touchdown. I was like, wow, one play in the NFL, first play, they beat me for a touchdown. You know, the bad part about that, because I had to go back to the sideline. You know how peer pressure is
Right.
with your teammate. Oh, he's sorry. Jerry, he's sorry. You know, he get beat. He got beat for a touchdown, you know, and I'm like, you know. But the coach didn't say anything to me negative like that. He didn't say anything at all. And went on, didn't play no more that day. And then, you know, we play a couple more games. This time we playing the Pittsburgh Steelers against Terry Bradshaw and Lynn Swan. And here go that same cornerback that was playing ahead of me.
He gets hurt again.
He hurt his hamstring. There you go.
That's kind of a story there.
That's right. And then they said, oh, no, they putting Jerry back in there. And I ran in there, and I was like, okay, this time I'm going to take all my fundamental, take my Savior strength in there, mom and dad, all the stuff that I learned at Bethel and all that stuff. Lynn Swan didn't have a clue of all the people that he was going against.
Right.
You know, he ran a pattern on me, broke the ball up. You know, all of a sudden that confidence started kicking. Like, yeah, okay, that's right. Let's go.
I can do this.
Exactly. I can do that. I got all these people supporting me and everything, and I'm like, I had a great day. We still lost to the Steelers, but I had a great day, and I started at cornerback from that point on the rest of my career, just from doing the things that I learned from the great coaches that I've had through that Bethel High School, Aberdeen, and West Virginia, you know, foundation that we put together.
Right. Now, that gentleman that kept hurting his hamstring didn't get in anymore, did he?
No, he didn't.
He had a bad problem with that hamstring. Well, I wonder why that happened when he was against some good ball players. But anyway, we'll let that go. Graduated, went through the pros and everything. Now you're going into coaching. Did you always think in the back of your mind that there was a possibility you would go into coaching?
You know, if you ask probably I got I got three brothers younger than me, and we used to always talk about football and different things, and I was trying to always mentor them, teach them little things that I had learned when I was playing. So I always kind of felt like, okay, always wanted that ability to be able to touch people's lives and help people improve on some of the things that they like doing.
Right. So now, but you've coached at both the the college level and the pro level. And pro level seems to be where you're kind of focused on.
Yes.
Talk about that, because that was a unique story you was telling me about how you got your first coaching job with the Cleveland Browns. But tell that story about the head coach, how you got with him.
Yes, and his name is Chris Palmer, and Chris Palmer was one of the coaches with the New Jersey Generals. Right. And when that league went under, Chris went back to the college rank coach. He coached up in New Haven, and because I still had some more years to play, so I went back to the New York Jets. And Chris will always tell me, Jerry, when you get some free time, could you come up here and show my guys up at New Haven a little stuff that you know that allow you to be successful in the NFL. And I used to go up to help Chris Palmer up at New Haven, and Chris said, Jerry, when I get my big job in the NFL, I'm going to call you. I said, okay. You know, eventually Chris became head coach with the Cleveland Browns. I had finished up my career playing, and he called me up and said, Jerry, could you come up here and be my secondary coach for me at the Cleveland Browns? I said, wow. Are you kidding? Wow. I rushed up there.
So that was your very first entry into coaching football, was with the Cleveland Browns?
Yes, on the professional level, that's right.
But you had done some by going up to New Haven, Connecticut to help him out, to share some of your techniques, so that you were actually coaching, then not getting paid for it. You're just helping out a friend.
Yes. And then it really started back then with the NFL had a program to kind of prepare players that coming towards the end of their career, some opportunities on doing other things once you actually finish playing. Right. So I started that program with Coach Taylor over at Hampton University, and I went to coach with him and then going to grad school and that sort of thing.
Right. Now, you didn't stay with stayed with the Browns, but you also coached with the Redskins and with the Chargers. So you have been with other NFL teams. Have you always been a defensive back coach? Or have you done other things?
Yes, at the professional level, I've been always a defensive back coach, but they always allow you, or maybe give you a second role where you help out with the special teams and punt team, the punt return teams, and that sort of thing. Because those are some of the things that I've done when I was actually playing in the NFL that you can actually teach the other kids.
Wow, you had a tremendous career.
Man, and like I said, you were part of that foundation.
Well, I appreciate that. I hear what you're saying. Now, you talked about developing your philosophy in coaching. I assume you took a little bit from everybody. Yes,
and I'm not bragging, but I got some great friends. Those Bill Armsbarger. Ran the no-name defensive in Miami when they went on and won the Super Bowl undefeated.
Right.
That's one of my mentors right there. Bill, good guy, and he always talks about teaching. You have to have the ability to teach in order to be a good coach. And I was like, yeah, because I'm thinking that's one of the reasons that allowed me to go on and be successful, because I had good teachers when I was playing the game. And I try to put those situations that I've learned into my players, because everybody learned differently.
Right.
As far as players goes, and I know I learned differently, and I knew that I try to learn from the players on what abilities that I can show them to allow them to learn faster and allow them to be successful.
Right, to be successful, because that's the whole job of coaching, is to teach a young player the fundamentals so that he can become successful.
Yes.
Did you ever think in your mind that you would like to do high school?
I just never really tried it. I probably would enjoy doing it, because that was a great part of my foundation. Because if I probably didn't have the high school coaches that I had growing up, I probably wouldn't have been as successful as I was playing in that West Virginia and playing in the NFL. So that's a big part of the kids' foundation.
Right. Now, because with this NFL lockout very possibility, you've got some other options that are presenting itself.
Yes, and because this UFL team is coming along here in Norfolk, right, the Virginia Destroyers, got my eye on that situation, or maybe even going back up to Hartford, Colonial, going up there and be a part of that team. So there's a bunch of different options that I have right now that I'm waiting in,
Well, finally, I'm going to come up with one last thing I want you to talk about. Just what kind of wisdom would you give the student athletes in the systems today? If you could, and you've talked to the kids, I'm sure, but if you could sit down and talk to a kid one-on-one, he's a student athlete, what would you give him, your wisdom?
I use the same fundamentals that I try that help me, as far as learning the little things. Listen to your parents, listen to your teachers and all your coaches and that sort of thing. That's a great part of your foundation. It's going to help you make decisions no matter whether you play in the NFL or not. By listening to those people that's part of your foundation, that's going to be the most important thing that you're going to ever do in life. It's going to allow you to make good decisions, whether you decide to play football or not. I still use the wisdom that you gave me, Coach God, Coach Garrison, my parents, my Savior, and all those spirits that's a part of Jerry Holmes allow me to make good decisions right now. And I hadn't played football in 20-some years now, but it still allows me to be successful and make the good decisions and doing the right thing.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We want to thank you for tuning in to LFC. I want to thank my special guest, Jerry Holmes, a good friend of mine. I appreciate him coming in. This is Bob Hintz. Until next time.